So you've distributed several 100 million cookies, which is super cool.
Billion?
Billion.
Billion?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Billion with a B? With a
B.
B, not with an M, with a B.
Yeah.
Wow. We're here at Open Fortune with Nicole and Morel. We're going to talk a little bit about Open Fortune and anything you guys have to share about this amazing brand. So we're going to start with some business questions and then have a little bit of fun. So tell me about the big idea here. With Open Fortune's model of like add back cookies being so unique, what was kind of that light bulb moment for you where you knew it wasn't just a novelty, but this was a real thing?
Yeah. When our founders started Open Fortune about 7 years ago now, the initial idea, our first ever partner, was Capital One. And Capital One came in and they were like, okay, let's test this out. Let's see what happens. We ran one campaign with them. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, this isn't just fun and cute cookies. This really works. And from that point on, it really put us on the map. And we've grown a ton since that initial campaign launch. And I think at first, we weren't really sure what was going to happen. And our first campaign in and out the door, it just absolutely hit. And our customers were so happy. And it's been like that ever since.
I think it's really cool because it's got that nostalgia factor, right? And kind of leading into my next question, like this is billboards you can actually taste and enjoy, right? So you're reinventing one of like the most original forms of paper media, right?
Yeah.
How do you convince brands that this is actually like a tactile experience and has more impact or potentially like more personal than maybe digital media?
It's a great question. The easiest way to answer that question is our founding story. So our founder, Sean, before he started Open Fortune, was out at a Chinese restaurant eating food, looked over next to him, and the family at the table next to him opened up a fortune cookie. Inside that fortune cookie was messages about taking that next trip, take the vacation, spend that family time together. 45 minutes, they talked about the cookie. Within that 45 minutes, they had planned a trip. I think it was to Florida. And he looked over and said, oh my God, how do I get my brand there? And then he decided to do it for other brands. And that is the best way to tell exactly what our platform is. It's just such an emotional media. And all of our clients feel that the second they sign on with us.
It's amazing. So cool. So you've distributed several 100 million cookies, which is super cool.
Billion?
Billion.
Billion?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Billion with a B?
Yeah.
With a B, not with an M, with a B.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So several 100 billion cookies?
Yeah.
That's huge. Again, goosebumps.
yeah.
That's amazing.
We
So
love the goosebumps.
what have you learned about the scale and the actual like logistics that most startups really wouldn't expect, or what kind of like advice can you give those startups that you've encountered?
Want to answer it?
No, you can answer. I'm just holding the mic for you.
So I think, the Open Fortune journey in terms of logistics and how we kind of scale this product from the fortune cookies that everyone knows and loves into what our medium is and how we kind of reinvent that product, that logistic process took a lot of time. We actually had to completely reinvent a printing press that did soy edible based ink that could be put inside of cookies because no one else had ever done color before. So literally down to we have to make a new printing press at these factories. There was a lot in terms of just, our goal is we're making our brands happy, but we're making consumers happy at the end of the day. And a large part of that is also restaurant owners and business owners that have these Chinese and Asian restaurants that we're putting these cookies into. So figuring out how to do that at scale while making those 30 different groups of people happy was a real process for us, but we've got it down to a science now. So I think it was a lot to figure out when we initially started. It wasn't as simple as just like, we're going to put this in a fortune cookie and it's going to work. We were like, okay, now that we're in all 50 states in the US, we're international, we're in Europe, we're in Asia, rapidly expanding. It's kind of starting that over everywhere we go.
So kind of the prototypical startup, it's probably going to take more time, cost more money, and you're going to have to reinvent a whole lot more things than you're possibly like considering.
That you even think at first, yeah.
Very cool, very cool. I love talking about like the data aspect of it. I'm a huge fan of QR codes.
Yeah.
When we look at obviously the room on what you can fit on a fortune cookie, do you see any ways that you can unlock more interactivity with it beyond a QR code, or how do you like balance that innovation without losing like the magic of, I remember as a kid, like going out for Chinese food with my family and like the highlight of it was getting fortune cookies at the end. So how do you keep that nostalgic, but also scale this technology?
Yeah. So QR codes for sure, what I always say, and we do get that question a lot, like how do you make it not a stale thing? If I'm a brand and I'm working with you and I put an ad in the cookie, a year later, how do I make that ad still exciting if people have already seen my brand in there? The product itself, no matter what's on there, it's exciting to people. It's new. When you think about fortune cookies, the fortunes that people actually have been getting traditionally are 40, 50, 60 years old. They just get recycled. What we're doing is coming in and adding to that. So you're getting fortunes with us that you've never seen before. They're a little bit more, they lend itself more to our generation and what people are talking about in 2025 versus what those fortunes have looked like years and years ago. So it's getting people actually excited about fortunes again that in the past couple of years, 10, 20 years, they've gotten stale. So that's one thing when it comes to the actual messaging and what those fortunes look like. In terms of the QR codes, we have brands that do some really exciting, engaging things. So we can put promotions on there. We can put kind of an interactive element where you scan it and it opens up to a game, and now you're actually in this, experience. And it's not just always scan it and bring me to your landing page. It's like, how do we get consumers actually engaged in this and get them, make it an interactive experience? And there's much, much more to be done that we are having a lot of conversations about. Can't share too much more on that, but the short answer to that is absolutely, there's a lot more to be done there.
So I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. We were talking yesterday. About the Duolingo side of it and the education side of it. Can you share that story? Because that for me was like the light bulb moment of how I know that now we're crossing the technology and education side of it, and this is how the scalability can be exponential for a brand.
Yeah, for sure. So we focus heavily on virality, and Duolingo's been a client of ours now for quite some time. We had a campaign go out, and it happened to fall in the hands of a KOL, an influencer, TikTok influencer. She opened it up, basically said like, you haven't been practicing your Spanish or something. Basically, it made her feel a bit attacked. So she went on TikTok and was like, oh my God, how did they know? They're after me. It went viral. It got around 5 million views. So it's
still growing.
Still growing. It's the power of the cookie.
Also, Duolingo, because of this story yesterday, I actually restarted up my French. So
wow.
Go. I legitimately did after we chatted.
Testimonial for us.
I know. We're putting this on the website.
Yeah.
True. Actually did. So I had not for over a month. So thank you for that story.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, let's talk about some lifestyle, personality. Let's have a little bit of fun here. So we're talking about it. What fortune do you live by? Obviously, you've seen thousands, if not millions of them. What's one actual fortune that you've seen that has kind of become personal mantra? Do you have anything to share?
Okay, so for me, prior to joining Open, when I met the founder, Sean, like I got a cookie off him and I kept the fortune with me and I put it in my phone case.
You still have it?
I do, and I'm upset because I went to the beach and it got wet in the case and ripped. So my mom's like, it's okay, you can frame it. But it said, be grateful for what you have while being open to what's coming. And I wasn't with Open at the time, but like I think what was coming was joining the team. So that one stuck with me. That's
fortuitous, for sure.
Yeah, that's my fortune.
Okay, mine's actually similar. Before I worked for Open Fortune, Matt and Sean, our founders, had sent me a box of cookies in our conversations, and literally the first one I opened, and it wasn't that they all said this, I know because I checked. The first one that I opened said, a new opportunity is on the horizon. And I was like, at first I was like, they planted this here. And then that's what it was. And then I was like, you know what, I'm taking the leap. And I joined Open Fortune, and it's been a great 5-year-long journey ever since.
Did you find out if they actually planted it?
You know, I asked, the answer is no, but all the other fortunes in there were different. So it happened to be the first one that I picked up, and It was an important one, still is.
I love that.
All right, let's talk about it. Saturday afternoon, it's sunny outside, you've got the afternoon off. What are you doing?
So I live in Dubai. So
it's sunny all the time.
Yeah, it's sunny all the time. Depending on the weather, if the weather's not too hot, like beach club, beach day, maybe like beach with the dogs. Family time, couch time, food. I don't know.
And dining out or making food at home?
No. Dining out or ordering in. At least on a Saturday. I don't know. Yeah.
Too tired to cook.
Yeah.
I'm a big beach girl. I love the Jersey Shore. I'm from New Jersey. I live in Manhattan, but Jersey Shore has my heart. So if it's the summer, that's where I am. And if it's the winter, I'm wishing I was there.
Very cool. All right, a little bit of Be Real here. Talking about, growing up. Let's rewind back to when you were younger and just getting started. Tell me a little bit about, what was the actual dream back then?
As a kid?
Yeah.
What was the dream? Well, first I wanted to be a dentist for some odd reason.
Okay.
Even though I don't like going to the dentist now. So I don't know what that was. But I was always like a hustler, fascinated with money. Like I would collect the coins, like I had the piggy bank. Me and my brother would he would take the pennies because they looked like gold because he was more of like an artist. And in my head I was like, you're freaking stupid because I'm taking the quarters and the toonies and it's like worth a lot more money than you. So I don't know. I've since a kid been very money driven, hungry for hustle. I don't know. So dentist and then that, I guess.
It's good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to work for a fortune cookie company since the day I was born. No, I'm kidding. We actually joke about this. When I was a kid, I wanted to have a bakery. And so we always joke that in some way or another, I'm working for a fortune cookie company. We got cookies that we're making in the factory. It's like kind of like a bakery. I don't know, making cookies.
So talking about that entrepreneurial side of it, you sort of mentioned on the money side of it, and that's important, but let's talk about then the freedom side of it and the impact side of it. How do you feel like this is going to allow you to kind of achieve that and what it is you're trying to do?
I think if you love what you're doing, it doesn't feel like work. And that's how it's felt for me so far. It never feels like work. It just feels like, I don't know, it's a part of me. It's who I am.
Yeah.
The cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
What do you think, Nicole?
Yeah, I second that. I think also kind of I've been with Open Fortune since almost the very beginning, and kind of building a company and watching how our team builds it from the ground up has taught me a lot about a lot of different aspects of business I never thought I would be learning about. So that's been exciting for me and my personal growth. And yeah, I think we have met so many tremendous brands and CMOs and CEOs and marketers along the way. And it's just incredible to be able to come here and meet all these people and work with them. It's been an amazing opportunity.
Awesome. Very cool. Now putting you on the spot, give us a ridiculous, genius, or funny business idea that actually involves fortune cookies somehow. It doesn't have to be good, but putting you on the spot.
That's happened already?
Yeah.
We have
or
it.
that you want to do that you can actually share with everybody here.
We have it.
We have it.
We have it for you.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Nicole.
So we actually created and are still in testing stages of a fortune taco.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's very exciting. I'm not going to share that much beyond that, but
Can I be a beta tester?
absolutely.
Oh.
Send me your address.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
Awesome. Amazing. Okay, last one here. What would your Gary V fortune say? So let's pretend Gary V actually opens a fortune cookie right now with the words in it. What is the fortune he's reading?
Interesting.
Your next idea will spark a fortune.
One of our taglines is "Fortune favors the bold," and I always think of Gary when we say it. It just seems very him to me.
Fortune favors goals?
The bold.
Oh, the bold.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Fortune favors the bold because it does.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you for your time. If there's anything else you want to tell the viewers, if there's anything else you want to share, you have the forum. If not, we'll see you guys on another time.
Oh, yeah. Anything?
Be back. No.
You're all going to see fortunes now and think of us. I'm so sorry about that. Or maybe you're welcome.